Time now for my review of Sea of Thieves Season 13. We've had a few weeks to check it out, play it, along with several event weekends. And I'm going to give you my pros, cons, verdict when it comes to Season 13 of Sea of Thieves. And I would like to know your pros, cons, and verdict as well below in the comments section. As always, we're starting off with the pros. The big selling point of Season 13 is the Burning Blade, as well as the return of Captain Flameheart. So we got the Burning Blade, this big giant man-of-war ship that pops up in the world. It's a world event, and you have several options when it comes to the Burning Blade. You can attack it, sink it, take its treasure, along with the Chest of Fortune, an Ashen Skull, the Blade of Souls, and sell all that. Or you eventually have the ability to take control of the Burning Blade in service to Captain Flameheart. And I love the options here. The fact that you have choices as a crew to either attack and sink the Burning Blade or take control of it. And there's things you can do with the Burning Blade, just like with a regular ship. Plus, you get a crew of AI skellies to help you. Similar to the Burning Blade with the skelly camps and the rituals, you can either go in with the Burning Blade in service to Flameheart, or you can raid the skelly camps in defiance of Flameheart and take the ritual balls for yourself for the Ancients and sell them back to the Athenas or one of the other factions. Plus, the Blade of Souls is kind of fun as a melee weapon. It burns the enemies. It has pretty good HP compared to the regular sword that we carry. And any ritual that was done on the Burning Blade by players before it was sunk go into the Blade of Souls, making it even more valuable. On the flip side, the goal of the crew of the Burning Blade, once you take control of it, is to do enough rituals in the skelly camps, as many as you want, 1, 10, etc. And when the time comes, you can return the Burning Blade back to Reapers, to Captain Flameheart, and he shall reward you with reputation as well as gold. Plus, there are new combinations and cosmetics to unlock on both sides of this ongoing war when it comes to the Burning Blade. Speaking of cosmetics, the Plunder Pass has a load of new cosmetics for you to earn and unlock. Some of it's free, some of it's not, but overall the Plunder Pass, once again, is one of the easiest passes to complete in online games. It's way easier than the Battle Pass in Fortnite, the Smuggler's Pass in Skull and Bones. I know this personally because I play both games. And for the most part, I feel like the rewards you get for the Plunder Pass this season make sense and work with what the theme of the season is, which is once again focused on the Burning Blade as well as Captain Flameheart. Another pro revolves around the Horns of Fair Winds, or the lack of horns. For a while now, it seems like we've had trouble finding them, but a few weeks ago, Rare actually buffed the amount of horns to pop up in treasuries, as well as in shipwrecks and washing onto the shores of islands. So we have seen more horns throughout the world of Sea of Thieves than back whenever they were first introduced in Season 12. So that's definitely a pro. We had several events, just like with previous seasons. Golden Glory, the introduction of Fight Nights, which was an Hourglass-focused event. We got the Community Weekend, which just wrapped up, and it was a pretty solid community weekend, along with all the various Twitch drops throughout Season 13. And, of course, these pros really depend on your point of view. There were some bug fixes as usual. The blunderbuss was reworked. Some people like it, some people don't. And the fishing rod technique that some players liked using with the cannons, that's been finally patched. Once again, it depends on your point of view. If you didn't like the fact that people were taking advantage of the fishing rod cannon technique, then this is a pro to you. If you enjoyed using the fishing rod cannon technique to board other ships, then this is a con. So you could go whichever way you want when it comes to the blunderbuss as well as the fishing rod technique, which is why I put it at the very end of the pros list as we swim on over to the cons. So despite how good of a season 13 was, there were issues. There was a ritual exploit that I guess swam past the nets of QA for Sea of Thieves, and it allowed players to earn way more rituals than they were supposed to. The idea is every camp equals one ritual. there was an ability for players to work together as a crew of 2 or 3 or even 4 players to get between 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 of the ritual points instead of 1 per camp. But there were other players that went even further and used internet exploits in order to get ridiculous amounts of rituals. So eventually, Rare corrected this issue. They fixed it, and they punished everybody that used the exploit accordingly. Whether you agree with that or disagree with that, that is entirely up to you. I think that those that went too far with the internet and using it to gain ridiculous amounts of rituals deserve to be punished. But those that were simply just doing a timing thing with themselves, another crewmate, or with all 4 crew members, yeah, they got punished as well, but they lost, the reputation, they lost the gold that was earned. But what's done is done. Next is the Burning Blade. Now, whenever it first appears on the map, when it's controlled by the Skeleton AI, it is a world event. But once you take control of the Burning Blade, it remains a world event, and it prevents other world events from popping up in that server, forcing players to either sink the Burning Blade or move to another server. I don't think that the Burning Blade should be a world event once players have taken control of it. Yeah, we should still see it on the map and in the sky, but it no longer needs to be a world event. I think that once that happens, then the next world event should pop up, whatever that happens to be. Speaking of the Burning Blade, another con a lot of players have is the fact that it now includes the Chest of Fortune, which has been taken away from another world event that was very popular, the Fort of Fortune. I think that was a bad move by Rare, and they should put the Chest of Fortune back in the Fort of Fortune. They can still leave the Chest of Fortune in the Burning Blade. Either we can have 2 Chests of Fortunes, one for the Burning Blade, one for the Fort of Fortune, or give the Burning Blade its own unique Flameheart themed looking chest that is worth the same amount of gold as the Chest of Fortune. Rare, if you could return the Chest of Fortune to the Fort of Fortune, that would be great. And the final cons regarding Season 13 revolve around the typical stability issues, long loading times, occasional stutter, frame rate drops, as well as boats still underwater at the beginning of Hourglass. So there's obviously still some issues in Sea of Thieves, even in Season 13. There are the pros, cons, and of course the final verdict. Despite ongoing issues, overall, I think Season 13 was a really good season for Sea of Thieves. It was a continuation of Season 12's additions and improvements. And I do think that, for the most part, the Burning Blade is a welcome addition to the world of Sea of Thieves. It's fun, especially at the first part of the season when players were actually fighting over the Burning Blade and you had like these epic battles between ships alliancing together to bring down a player-controlled Burning Blade. It's not as big of a deal now as it was early on, but once again, I don't think that the Burning Blade needs to be a world event once it has been captured by a crew of players. I think that 2024 has been a pretty good year for Sea of Thieves. The addition of PlayStation 5 players, Season 12 was good, Season 13 was really good, and yeah, I think things have gone pretty well so far, with the exception of the concerning player count on the PS5, but it's still overall pretty strong over on Xbox as well as PC. Now, what I would like to see in a future season, I don't know if this is in the works or going to be a thing, is that the Athenas, you think they would respond to the Burning Blade by either resurrecting the Athena's Fortune as its own man of war that players can take control of, or another ship with a different name to it. And maybe one day we might see an epic clash, a showdown between the Reapers, the Servants of the Flames, as well as the Guardians and Athenas, Flameheart versus Pirate Lord, Man of War v Man of War, with the theme of the Burning Blade and the theme of the Athena's Fortune Man of War ship just like spinning together as this final battle. I would love to see something like that in a future season, maybe in like 2025 or 2026. But who knows what Rare has up their sleeves when it comes to the war of Flameheart versus Pirate Lord, Servants of the Flame, Reapers, Guardians, Athenas, for ultimate control of the Sea of Thieves. Your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding Season 13 of Sea of Thieves, What did you like? What did you not like? Your pros, cons, verdict, welcome. As always, me hearties, below in the comments section.